According to CMC, these are the biggest categories in terms of other crypto. Memes is enormous, makes up about 23%. Solana ecosystem about 15%, and ETH about 10%, and DeFi and NFTs and everything else. AI actually surprisingly small. And I'm surprised that NFTs are still so big, right? But, you know, is it a surprise? No, it's really not. Really not a surprise. We know that memes are leading. Solana is leading, right? And one of the reasons why I still think Solana is going to flip Ethereum is because just look at the popularity and look at the usage and look at the fundamentals. Now, Ethereum does have its ETFs coming, so that's a big catalyst for Ethereum. You can't discount that. But I do think Solana's going to get its own too, and then after that, catch up. But look at these meme coins. Look at the returns on these memes. Even if you're comparing memes on Sol versus ETH, the gains, I mean, yeah, I would love to have a 3,500% gain. But if you're looking at the ones on Sol, I mean, they're crazy. 20,000%, 16,000%, 5,700%, 1,200%, and 80%. It's just kind of crazy. Kind of crazy, right? This is why people are in memes. They're kind of lottery tickets. You really don't know if they're going to do well. But with the ones that do, and you're just holding on a small amount, man, that's just really good, crazy gains, right? Also something like pump.fun. It's, you know, there's so many memes being created every single day. The revenue itself from pump.fun is more than Ethereum, more than Tron, more than Solana itself. That's crazy. That's one dApp on top of Solana that makes more revenue than all of Ethereum combined within the last 24 hours. Just think about it. That is crazy. That's crazy, right? That is crazy. And you don't see that on Ethereum because Ethereum is just too darn expensive. I don't know how many memes get created per day. Probably like 1,000. Yeah, so Solana is doing really well. But you know who else is doing very well? Ton. Ton coin has been doing absolutely amazing. The performance is there. It's in the top 10, and you could see the daily active addresses have now flipped above Ethereum. Ethereum's daily active address, you could see, is not really going higher right now, right? It's kind of like just sideways. It can't really have more addresses. It can't have more volume because the chain can't handle it, right? But someone like Ton is going up like crazy, mostly because of all the clicky games. But still, right? It's still doing very well. So that's amazing to see how fast Ton is growing. And it's all coming within this year. Look at prior to 2023, nothing's going on. But look at the growth right now, which is absolutely insane, right? Good for Ton. If you want to comment on anything I've said in this video, make sure you head over to the Roundtable. The Roundtable is a new social media platform created for conversations. And best of all, it's spam-free, bot-free, unlike here on YouTube. And you could have conversations with me and others like Altcoin Daily, Scott Melker, Mauro Nafal, and many others are joining daily. And you also get rewarded in tokens for doing so. So check out the new Roundtable. Click the link in the description below. What about something like Solana? Well, many think that Solana is going to get a big boost. In fact, it did get a little boost recently, like a 20% boost, after Van Eyck decided to file an application for Solana ETF, right? Which I still think there's a really good chance that it could happen later this year. At least approval. I don't know about trading, but I think it's going to happen. There's no reason why the SEC will deny it. But anyways, so that's a big take, right? Like ETF approval, that caused a big commotion, but I think that's just the beginning. If you're measuring everything else out there, of course, like DEX volume on Solana is higher than Ethereum, mostly driven by Jupiter, right? So if you're looking at fundamental, DEX volume, transactional volume, number of addresses, number of users, basically, all sky high, and many of these metrics are higher than Ethereum already. So if you're looking at fundamentals, you can't argue Solana's fundamentals is very good, vastly better than many of the other chains in the space, right? Here's something that you normally don't see. All-time high in monthly economic value, which means fees plus MEV at 91.3 million, okay? And you might say, well, why is high fees good? Well, here's the thing. Solana doesn't have a lot of high fees. So for it to have all-time high monthly fee means there's tremendous amount of volume happening on Solana, okay? We're talking about 4,000, 5,000 transactions per second versus 15, 20 of Ethereum. Of course, Solana is still driven by memes. There are still a lot of memes on there, right? WIF is coming up a little bit. Of course, we got so many others that are also blowing up. And you get like, last count was like 500,000 new memes coming on Solana per month now. Per month. Probably the reason why the fees are, so high. But yeah, Solana is definitely one to pick up. I do think it's going to do very, very well. If you're just looking at everything, putting it all together, yeah, big moves are coming, right? But what about Ethereum? Well, let's not forget Ethereum is also get its ETF. It's go get it first. So it's rumored that it could happen as soon as this month. Solana ETF may not happen until next year. However, Ethereum ETFs could be coming as soon as this month. That's right, this month. And if it hits this month, can Ethereum hit 6,500 later this year, which would mean about double, about double from where it is. It certainly can. And that's just this year. What about 2025? Ethereum could be hitting as high as 15,000 by the end of 2025, right? So I think the ETFs, once they hit, will make a big difference, especially if the market starts moving into the parabolic bull stage, right? That's when things really start moving. That's when the ETFs will get billion plus inflow per day, not over weeks, per day, right? So I think that's definitely something that I think people are underestimating right now, right? And if you're looking at just the overall supply being held, it's all-time high, all-time high. So again, when it comes to price, supply and demand, right? Demand is going to skyrocket after those ETFs happen, and supply, even though it's not set, still very limited. So fantastic. So can big moves come for Ethereum? I definitely think so.